designate this certain section, say, long as y'all brothers stay in this area, this, that, and the other, we fine. But we gonna incorporate some of your techniques in securing our neighborhood. And one of the things that the gang members or the drug gangs or whatever the fuck you want to call them are good at is keeping an eye on the fucking police. They have people stationed on buildings and in apartments and standing on corners and this, that, and the other. As soon as the police roll into the neighborhood, they whistling, throwing up some signs, letting some pigeons loose, whatever the fuck they got to do to inform the others that, hey, police are in the neighborhood, calm everything down, hide everything, whatever. We should incorporate that same technique into our neighborhood safety program. This way we can surveil the police, keep an eye. As soon as we see a squad car come in, because the gangs are so good at this shit, they even know when they coming in private cars dressed in plain clothes. So you might want to sit down and find out how these individuals or these groups or these gangs are so good at keeping a check on the police as far as surveillancing them, and the rest of us is just ending up with a knee in our neck and dead. And see, by having a security and safety patrol, like I said, when we see the police doing something wrong, we immediately come in and we immediately start, observing. And then I say we incorporate some of the Black Panthers techniques. Because remember, when the Black Panthers was patrolling their neighborhood and this, that, and other, they was just like the white folks. I'm legally able to carry this firearm. I'm legally able to stand within 6 feet and observe the officer performing his duties without arrest. And we need to do the same shit. Let them motherfuckers know that, coming into the neighborhood and putting your hand on your gun and thinking that's going to make everybody bow down and kiss your ass while you abuse us and mistreat us and then end up fucking killing us, that shit's coming to an end. Because if two cops roll into the neighborhood, start harassing the motherfucker or trying to act like they about to put their foot on his neck or put him in a chokehold or this, that, and other, especially when the person has committed no crime other than the police just deciding that let's check this motherfucker out and see what he guilty of. Now, if a person ain't committed no crime, as long as they didn't commit a non-violent crime. Now, a violent crime, you shot somebody, you stabbed somebody, yeah, chokehold that motherfucker if that's what it takes to subdue him. But don't chokehold them to death. Subdue them, handcuff them, put them in a squad car or a paddy wagon or whatever the fuck it is y'all use to transport people to prison and transport their ass to prison. We got to put a curb on their behavior, because their behavior is what's out of control. Defunding the police, yeah, it sounds good. It makes great for a good chant and a good slogan. But let's get real. What the fuck defunding the police is going to do for us? If we defund the police, then that means that last one hired, first one fired. So all the officers who just now starting out and trying to do the right thing and trying to change the police image and trying to go by the book and show that they out here to protect and serve the public, them going to be the ones fired. And the same racist, bigoted, violent, criminalistic type motherfucking cops that's been on the force for 20 and 30 years is going to be now the main ones walking around and patrolling our neighborhood and fucking shit up. Well, I should say fucking us up, because that's what they love to do. It's basically open hunting season on black and brown people in this country, both men and women. I mean, we haven't even gotten to the number of Hispanic people that were killed at the hands of the police, who were choked out, who had a knee on their neck, who were found dead in their cell. That, a lot of that doesn't get reported on the news. Only because that I believe, and this is my opinion, I believe because that the Hispanic community has been getting such a disparaging image portrayed of them because of the people coming up, to the border trying to get asylum and, basically just trying to have a decent life. So that's might be the reason why the media doesn't focus enough on the Hispanic community that's suffering the same shit that the black community. And that because we live in a society who would like to keep us separated and at each other's throats. So as long as they can keep the black and the brown separated, then the white people can keep pushing this notion that they are the majority race in this country when the truth is Hispanic and blacks dwarf the entire white population. So individually, there's more white people than black people. There's more white people than Hispanic people individually. But if we as a group, black and brown, decided to become basically a united voting block in this country, then we would change the actual land face of the very government that seeks to oppress and, exploit us. And that shit scares the fuck out of white people. Not all white people, because if you pay attention to the protests for George Floyd and police brutality and this, that, and the other, and the equality and all of the stuff, Black Lives Matter, all of that stuff that's out there, if you pay attention to what the media is allowing you to see on TV, even though they have no control over how they record this stuff, there's just as many white people marching alongside the black people as it is black people marching for their own cause. And that shit is scaring the hell out of them. And that's what's changing the landscape, and the whole conversation has changed because there's more white people out there protesting than it ever been before. And that scares them because, like, holy shit, man, those, we can't run the white is right, black is wrong, Hispanic is wrong, vote for us, we'll protect you from the evil Hispanics and blacks and this, that, and the other. Now it's like, that shit ain't working. The younger generation, like, shit, hell, I'm fucking a black person, or I'm fucking a Hispanic person. So why should I be lily white or follow the white is right motif when I'm laid up in the bed with somebody I actually love, this a different race and color? And that's what we got to get this shit, to the forefront, so that they can be the ones who are now setting policy and running the government and running agencies and running cities and this, that, and the other, and get these bigoted, old school, racist fuckers the fuck out of office and out of positions of power. That should be the main focus. Now, back to the community surveillance system. I just had to get that in there. But now, we need a council that will control the entire community surveillance system, and you pick out who your council members want to be. I suggest that they work on a rotating council schedule. In other words, like, say you got 12 members of the council, and their job is strictly to keep an eye on the surveillance, to make sure that all the surveillance equipment is properly working and the intranet is working properly, and any upgrades, updates, this, that, and the other. They're also there to make sure that, schedule those that work on the community security and safety patrol. And, they're also, there to help implement any programs or, that we might arise from this, because I'm looking for people to add to this. Anything that I'm saying now, if you feel that I'm saying it wrong or there's a better way to do it, I want to hear it. So I'm encouraging everybody, go to the website, oggoodgame.com, hit the voicemail button, and leave me a message. And if you want, you can now call me directly, and that's the new thing I'm implementing. But you can call me directly at 716-222-8169. And you can speak to me directly or leave a voice message. But I'm looking forward to hearing from people on this one. So the council, back to the council. Now the council is members must be elected. That means that people in the neighborhood must choose you and elect you into that position. You don't just get to raise your hand and say, I'll be a member, because you think you got the good job or you got good money or this, that is irrelevant. And we need a mix. Young, at least you have to be 18 years old in order to be elected onto the council. So that means we need some 18-year-olds all the way up to 90-year-olds to sit on the council. We need a diversity of age groups. That means young people get involved, middle-aged people get involved, older people get involved. And this way they can all sit down and hear each other's, how they see things in the community and what things they would like to see in the community, and then they can find common ground to work together and then understand each other better on their differences to realize that you probably ain't got as big a difference as you think, but that's the way our society pushes things. Now, the council, when I say rotating leadership council, what I'm basically saying is that every 6 months, a new council is elected. Now, previous council members can be renominated and reelected. But the whole premise is that we want to keep it rotating so we don't never have one person or one group of people sitting in a position of ultimate power. And then, as they always say, power corrupts, but ultimate power corrupts absolutely. So we don't want none of them with absolute power, that they'll be absolutely corrupted by their power. That's why we have the rotating schedule. You on for 6 months, then we get around to going to the people and the community and, nominate people or re-nominate somebody, and then the people of the community then make their decision in their election, and bam, and we put it on out there. So that's just how we should do the council. Now, we also want this to be privately funded by the community and from a community renewable energy project. This is how we're going to pay for these cameras. This is how we're going to pay people to do the surveillance. This is how we're going to pay people to be on the security and safety patrol. And we'll even have a little something to kick off to those who work and sit on the council. So I recommend we start a GoFundMe page to help fund this, to get the equipment we need. Black people. Now, I need y'all to step up to the plate. Call up them rappers, them singers, them NBA players, them NFL players, them Major League Baseball players, all these fucking celebrities and actors and all of this. They need to kick in on this. We need to ask them, can you kick in on this? Even go to your local neighborhood drug dealer and ask him to throw in a couple of $100 or a couple of grand here and there so we can put this program into place, which means that it's going to be less cops kicking in your fucking door and harassing you. Because, nowadays the cops don't even arrest the drug dealers. They go, they trap them up against the wall if they, at least the one standing on the corner. And they'll roll up on them. They'll get them all up against the wall. They'll take their money and then don't arrest them. Just leave them then. All right, because we ain't got no drugs on you, but you got to come downtown to claim your money, knowing that they ain't about to come down there and put in a request for some money, because then they got to explain where the fuck I got $5,000 in my pocket. I got no job and no high school diploma. Time for shakedown, because that's basically what some of them doing. They doing a fucking shakedown. So we need to put a stop to that shit. If your salary ain't good enough, get another fucking job. Get into another line of work. Find a career. Do something else other than to keep trying to shake down the drug dealers and then sit around on your ass getting high off of the weed you just took off of. So our community-funded project will be, privately funded. This, we need to speak to our people, our wealthy and well-to-do people. I done seen some GoFundMe pages. Person say, I need an operation on my knee. Boom, 100, 200, 300,000 in their GoFundMe account. So I'm expecting that if we put a GoFundMe account or crowdfunding or whatever it is, these online funding sources, things that they use nowadays, we utilize any of them or all of them, then we should be able to get at least $100,000 per neighborhood at the very least. People truly believe in their safety and security in their community. They will get out here and they will use their gift of gab and get to popping them chops and speaking to people and talking to people, knock on doors, whatever you got to do. Go to local businesses that's in the community, ask them to help fund this program to where we can increase the safety. And see, this is not just for us. This surveillance program actually helps the police. So now when they do come in the neighborhood and let's say they got a call for a domestic disturbance or a fight or some kind of violent crime, now that we have cameras set up, we can actually say, yes, that person tried to shoot that officer. Yes, that person attacked that officer. Yes, that person tried to do something violent towards that officer, and the officer was justified in their response to that violence. See, that works for them more than it, just as much as it works for us.